made his little nest for one in there. Built all the straw up so he's nice and warm. Hey, Crackers. Now these sheep are either pregnant or they have some sort of disease where they're going to pop soon. I'm pretty sure they're pregnant. Pretty excited about that. That's going to get big there. You guys, you're massive. So, what I want to do is probably today or tomorrow, I want to move this pig into another plot beside, just on the grass. So I'm going to get some extra hot tape and white push-in pickets that I have, and I'll just move this little small solar unit onto that electrified plot, and he will turn up all the grass. In the plot he's in now, I'll take the shelter out of there and the food and the water tub, and I will be hoeing that up, turning it over with the little dingo. And I want to grow something in there. With the soil the way it is, it's pretty well just pig poo and mulch, and it's not quite composted enough to be a good growing medium. So I will probably put a heap of horse poo in there and just try to build. That's all I sort of have at the moment is horse poo. I don't have enough cow poo or compost or anything, so I'm just going to try and work with what I've got. So yeah, just working on building the soil structure. I really wanted to get corn in there this spring, but I don't think I'm going to get there. I'm just going to have to keep working on the soil health there. I might even put some chickens or something. I'm sort of limited with this mesh because it's a large square, so chickens can just get out of it. But I might try, maybe I'll put the geese in there once the geese have had their gooselings, and that can sort of be a plot for them. I could also put the sheep in there while the sheep lamb and build the soil health that way with their manure as well. But just looking to really build that soil health before I plant much in there. I think if I put corn in there, it would sort of not do so well and stunt its growth because it's not at the stage I want it at the moment. But I'm going to move that pig into an electrified plot next to it so I can start building another garden bed there, because I pretty well need all the garden space I can get with doing onions and potatoes and things like that. That sort of takes up a lot of room, and corn especially takes up a lot of room for what you get out of that plant. So working on that today. Get him, Walt. The sheep have been eating this lily-pilly tree off this fence line, and it's a real shame that they're not just a little bit taller, because they could trim the whole thing. But I might prune that with some hedging shears and drop it onto the ground, and hopefully they'll eat that too. Probably 3 or 4 weeks ago now, I ordered some Tagasaki trees. I think that's how you pronounce it, Tagasaki. They're a lucerne tree, and lucerne is a crop that people grow to then turn into either chaff or hay for animals. This is the equivalent in a tree, and I believe you just break off the branches and throw it to the livestock for fodder, for pasture, for food. So I have 50 of those coming. You had to buy a minimum of 50, and they were quite cheap. I think they're only $4 each or something. But what I plan to do is to plant them along the boundaries of the paddocks to be able to have them fenced off the livestock and be able to give them to the livestock as they sort of need it. As you know, through winter when the grass is somewhat dormant, I can break off the branches and give it to the livestock as a form of feed. So very soon. What are you doing, Walt? What are you doing in there? You found a cubby. That's fun. What are you doing? Hey. So very soon, I've been getting a lot of messages from a transport company saying your parcel is to be delivered soon. I don't know, it could even be a scam. I've just tried to open it and it looks a little dodgy. So it said September anyway, and so soon we're going to have to drill 50 holes for these Tagasaki trees, and they don't need good soil and they're quite drought tolerant, so that's good for this place. But we'll put some we'll put some good soil in those holes and plant those little, I'm not sure how big they'll be, hopefully they'll be smallish seedlings, and they're going to take a while to grow before I can start breaking branches off and feeding them to livestock. But can you see? Yeah, hopefully that will be sort of a good thing that we can feed the animals when the forage isn't any good. My dad actually got me onto those. He's been talking about them for years, and I sort of didn't really understand what he was talking about until I looked into growing. Hey Ray. Lucerne. I sort of wanted to see if I could play around with a crop, and it sort of came up with, on my Google search, it came up with alternatives to lucerne, and it came up with these Tagasaki trees. So note to self, should have just listened to Dad, but I excitedly told him that I'd ordered 50 trees. What's wrong, Maggie, you buffhead? You want to come and try this paddock out? All right, I'll put you in this paddock. Yeah, so 50 trees coming in the post. Should have listened to Dad. Remember that for next time. Thanks, Dad. We have a name for our little calf. His name is Pedro. He was named by cousin Lizzie. It was her birthday the day he was born, so she's called him Pedro. Come on, you big scaredy cats. Hey, buddy. Hi. What's going on? Come on, in you come. Follow Mum. Good grass. What's going on? Patiently waiting for that turkey to be interested in his female friend, and he's very protective of the paddock, but I've not seen any action yet, so fingers crossed we can have some baby turkeys. I got the quad bike stuck, and I broke the fence. The trailer hit the fence, and I broke the bottom wire of the fence over there with the trailer. So just did a patch on that, and I need Dub to help me sort of fix that up, because I can't remember how to use, there's like these little inline gripple things, and I can't figure out how to use the plier things to tighten it up, so I need his help. And also need another piece of machinery to get the quad bike up the hill there, because the trailer's really heavy for the quad bike. So that's there, it's been there for a few days. These materials right there, the wire and the pickets, I'm finally getting to protecting these little trees here. They've got some nice flowers on them, but the calf keeps eating all the buds off. So the calf has eaten all the buds off the bottom there, and he started on the other ones. So it's not too much of a worry, because this is the only I've only had them in maybe there you are. I've only had them in sort of 6 months, so it's not a huge issue, because I don't need them to produce fruit this year. I think you're supposed to take the fruit off just so that the roots can establish when they're a small tree like that. So not super worried, but I need to get them protected so he doesn't actually completely kill them. And very soon I'll be separating the calf from Maggie so that I can get milk in the morning, because he's sort of drinking a lot of the milk. It's sort of a bit hit and miss. Sometimes I get 8 litres, sometimes I get 2 litres, so it depends on when he's eating as to how much milk I'm getting. So I'm going to start separating him at night time and collecting the milk in the morning, so that we're getting majority of the milk, and I'll just leave him a little bit, and then he'll be with mum all day, and then maybe 6 o'clock at night time I'll be separating him from Maggie. Silage is almost finished. Maggie loved that. That was really a really good thing, while the grass was sort of starting to grow. As it warms up into the springtime, the grass will start to come back, and I shouldn't need that silage. But I'm very excited that the horses are 100% grass fed, cows are 100% grass fed, and the sheep are 100% grass fed. So the pigs are just sort of still dragging the chain a little bit. They need a little bit more food. I'm having to still buy their food, but with less mouths, it's looking okay. Oof. We've also started to sell eggs from the laying flock, so that's helping to pay for the chicken food. I mentioned last week that I had been getting about a dozen eggs a day, and so from what we take out of that, I can pretty well get a dozen every second day to be able to sell. So that's exciting, and if I can sell enough of those, I may even increase my laying flock a little bit, because I would like to have some eggs for the pigs. And right now that male pig that's by himself, he is on cow's milk. He's drinking a lot of the cow's milk, and the 3 piglets that we have left are drinking a lot of cow's milk. So I'd like to have them on cow's milk, and from what I can grow, the weeds and things that I put in there for them to eat, and the kale and cabbage and things that I can grow for them, and have them eating chicken eggs for protein as well would be nice. But it's just getting that cycle happening. It's getting the animals in place so that they can feed each other, and it can be a little bit more sustainable. What is he doing? The other thing is, I've taken all the laying flock out of the paddock, and I'm going to get Dom to help me change the wheels on that finally, so it's a little easier to move. And I might even put like a tow ball sort of set up on there, so that we can put it behind the quad bike or the tractor to be able to tow it. So I've got all the laying flock up here. I just don't have time to keep putting them back in the paddock. I'm going to revisit that later. I really want to keep doing that rotational grazing them and breaking up the horse poo. So I really want to get that going, but right now it's taking up a little bit too much of my time. So they're up here near the house, where I can sort of get the eggs quite easily, and everybody stays in, and the dog can be in here and stay in here fine. Maggie, leave him. You're gonna wreck the fence, not cool. Hey, Maggie. Maggie gets very protective of Pedro. Please don't wreck the fence. Hey, come on, Maggie. Maggie. We harvested 2 pigs on the weekend. Dom and I have together killed a lot of animals now, and each time it doesn't get easier, but you become more confident.
you need to be confident so that you don't hesitate, because it is a very serious time. You don't want to hesitate, you don't want to miss, you don't want to cut the wrong spot, because you want that animal to suffer as least as possible. Now, we could load them into a trailer, we could take them to the slaughterhouse, we could load them into a strange yard, and then we could load them into a tiny pen where they're restricted and get a stranger to kill them. But I know that that's not the best way for them to die. The best way for them to die, I believe, is standing in the group of pigs that they've known all their life, in the paddock they've known all their life, feeding them like any other morning and giving them the bullet that ends their life very quickly. Make sure that it's done correctly. The best person to kill an animal is the farmer. It's the person that cares the most and knows what's best for that animal. I know that animal. I know when it's scared. I know when it's happy. I know what it likes to eat, where it likes to live.
Now I'm just going to move that little shelter into here, so when it rains, this little lonely pig's got somewhere to go. Really? Cool. And the only other issue I can see is the sheep don't respect that fence at all. So if there's something in there that they want, like those food scraps, they just walk straight through the fence, and then the fence falls down and the pig can get out. So it doesn't matter so much because they're in a chicken meshed paddock anyway. I just got to keep an eye on it. No, don't pick it. Leave it there for everybody to see.
Oh, we're there!
Yeah, they're beautiful, aren't they? Look at this little cozy bed for all these pumpkins. If I was a pumpkin, I would want this cozy bed. Just squish my finger. Beans are planted for the new archway. Capsicums are in, tomatoes are in, spinach coming through. Gonna leave that cabbage to see what the flower looks like. Lots of things popping up. It's not popping up yet. All covered in beautiful horse poo. Cool, your little fishing rod.
Yeah.
See if there's any peas this morning. Any little snacksy peas. These snow peas are holding in there. Not today, I don't think. There's only little ones. Might leave them for tomorrow. They grow so fast. Once you see one, they grow so fast. I just made these little beds out of the offcuts of the pumpkin bed that Dom made. And I just screwed them together. They've got no bracing. They're just a square box with no bottom in it. So it's more of a grass barrier than anything else. But it means I can grow a little bit more food. And I also put barriers on these gardens around the trellis beds. Lots of pumpkin and new things coming through.
Big one.
Big one. This one.
No, that one. No, that one.
Can you eat this one first? Pretty good, Walt. Oh, you dropped it. You just want another one.
I want that big one.
Hang on. Let me pull the beetroot out. Good job. Wow. You're crazy. What's this here? Little baby radish.